Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be about the rebuild of my Poizd T3 chassis. I bought this chassis a while back knowing I didn't really have the money or the time to build the chassis the way I wanted to, so I got impatient and decided to take the stuff off my YFG truck, which is around here somewhere. Took all my element parts off and put it on here, which was kind of a compromise, but I thought I was a super smart guy and I could make it work. So I put it together and it did good, but it didn't do exactly what I wanted it to. It didn't have the forward drive on the inclines, the steep inclines, as much as the YFG truck did. So I took it to Cherokee Rock Village for the haul and crawl and was very disappointed and upset with it. Came back and put my YFG truck back together with the intention of the fact that I would come back to this thing and build it the way I wanted to the first time, just take my time. So since then, I've been playing around with my YFG chassis / element chassis, and it's been doing great. I've been getting it better and better, but all that time I've been collecting parts for this guy. So here it is. This is the, looks almost the same. It's got the F350 J Concepts body with the patina on it. It started off as Bigfoot themed patinaed body, but it ends up getting chopped up so much with all this breakover that it doesn't look much like a Bigfoot anymore. So like I said, it's even got the weathered J Concepts logo on the front now. That's pretty new. Got the Hammer Time logo. So I'm going to talk about this and explain what I've done, and then after that we went out to Moss Rock yesterday and got some footage of it doing some incredible stuff. I was blown away with how good it was. Now, when I first put this thing together, it was not very good. It took a lot of tweaking and tuning on it to get it where it is. I used the rocks out here behind the house and an incline board I made to get it all dialed in. The biggest problem was it had crazy torque twist and wanted to flip over. So I made changes after changes and finally got it dialed in to where I thought it was pretty good, but when we got to Moss Rock, it was way better than I thought it would be. So I'm going to get this camera turned around and go over as much as I can remember and tell you, and then we're going to have some footage of it on the rocks and see what you think. So stay tuned, here we go. You have to pardon my mess. This is my work area. It's not the neatest. I'm still working on my setup and everything as far as video and everything. The room's not perfect for it, but I'm trying to do the best I can. So here it is, the Poizd T3. It's the older style chassis. J Concepts body. I think it's an 87, 86, F150, F250, 350, whatever you want to call it, cab only body. See, it's hacked up pretty good for tire clearance. It's like pretty tight here and there. The car sits at full droop in the front, so it sits really low slung in the front and got a little bit of travel in the back, but right now it's bottomed out in the front. You can see it lifts up and got plenty of travel. So let's take the top off here. I'm gonna try to walk through this best I can, remember, without leaving anything out. So this is the chassis. The T3 has a real aggressive breakover, very cab forward design. I'm using the parts like the skid, the sliders, the hanger bearing and body mounts. All that I made 3D printed. I made all the links, which was trial and error process. You start with 80mm in the front, which is kind of a standard thing to do. Now these chassis come with a skid, and I used it to kind of mock it up, but I wasn't real happy with the width they had the links, so I've been making the same skid for element and the axials and stuff like that, and I made these out of nylon carbon fiber, the sliders, and that stuff is extremely durable, been holding up really well. So the hanger bearing / body mount, that's just regular PLA for now. But that's it. I'm using Vanquish F10 portals. I've got the dark earth aluminum housings I got from Bubba Arnold. I got the inner steering pieces in aluminum black, and I've got the outer real heavy brass pieces from Vanquish too. That stuff is crazy expensive, but it's just something that I needed to have, I thought. So I've got a behind the axle servo with a low profile direct power servo. I'm using, for power, I'm using a Rhino 40 amp ESC, AM32 ESC with their 1900 snub nose motor. It's got a pinion, a 12 tooth pinion right now. I'm probably going to drop that down a few teeth, see what happens. Using a deluxe ultralight transmission, which is only like 29 grams. It's super small, so that made a big difference in the setup. I think I was really happy with that because I was able to slide it over just a little and get it where it barely clears in the front, motor forward, and then the battery tray sits here. You see the battery tray, for now it's just regular PLA. I'll probably change that to nylon carbon as well. But it's kind of a T-shape. It's got a sandwich plate that goes into this slider here, and it goes up in a T-shape. It's kind of more like an H, I guess you'd say. You got room to put the rubber band around there, and the battery sits. I left that out so I could show you the battery going in there. The battery just goes in this slot right here. And it goes like that. So that way it sits down low as possible, and it kind of balances the chassis weight. I weighed everything and got it sitting as even as I could with what weight's over here and over here, so it's pretty balanced, I think. And I figured I'd mention, I've already mentioned the axles. I figured I better mention the overdrive because I've recorded this once and forgot that. So the total overdrive is 39%. So if somebody asks me how much overdrive you guys say, I got all of it. So 39%. That's entailed with the portal gears that come in these axles, give it 17%. And then I've got an aught-6 ring and pinion in the front. Forget the ratio, but total with that together equals 39%. So pretty aggressive. I wanted to go kind of overboard and see how far I can take it, because a lot of people say that's too much, but I don't agree. That it works great. You'll see later in the video that it does work pretty good. So going back to the chassis, the geometry I kind of fooled around with a lot because there's a lot of torque twists and a lot of wanting to lift the chassis. I couldn't get the point of the instant center on the links where I wanted them. So I learned this from my other chassis on the front. I liked the front upper links a lot higher, so there was not a position that I needed, so I added a hole here and here for the rear. Both upper links are raised. Actually, I take that back. The back one is lowered and moved forward. The length of the link itself ended up too short in relation to the lower link, so I wanted it longer and closer to the length of the lower link, so I moved it forward and down some. It gave me the right, as good instant center as what I wanted, so I was real happy with that. So I used I was making an order at AliExpress because I saw these carbon fiber spacers. I thought they were pretty sweet, so I ordered those. I ordered something else, I can't remember what it was, and while I was on there I saw they had these shocks. These are, people who talk about it call them Chavtecs because they're kind of a clone of a Dravtec, and I figured they're $13 a pair. What's it gonna hurt? Worst case, I'm throwing them in the garbage, right? So I bought them, and I don't recommend buying them. You need to change all the internals, the O-rings and seals and everything to Traxxas, which is not expensive. It's only a couple of dollars. So I did that, and I'm using Element springs. I've got a gray left spring to help with the torque twist a little bit, and a white right spring on the rear. And I'm using the 2-hole pistons from Traxxas, not the Chavtec ones, and 60 weight oil front and rear. The fronts, the rears I forgot to mention, they're 85 millimeter. The fronts, I'm sorry, the rears are 95 millimeter. They do have a limiting spacer inside, about 5 millimeter, I think it was, to limit the up travel. So there's that. No internal spring in these. Now the fronts, totally different. They're 85 millimeter. I need to get the front as low as I can get it. So the fronts are 85 millimeter with an internal spring. Now I'm using green Sendero shocks, springs. And there's a pretty heavy internal spring. I've searched through every pin that we had in the house and some at work, and I found a combination that I've tried 2 or 3 different ones, and these seem to work the best. It keeps it pulled down, but still got plenty of droop. So it pretty much sits bottomed out. That combination really helped on the incline board and on the rocks as well. So pretty happy with that. So 60 weight green springs, and it's also got the Draft Tech offset shock caps. They fit on the Chav Tech shocks just perfect. I'm probably going to change these down the road, but they seem to be working okay for now. It took a lot of work. I'm going to probably make another video on those to explain that later. So the drive shafts is something else I took a chance with AliExpress. These are cut to length drive shafts. They are clones of the Draft Tech as well, I think, or somebody's, and they're great. I'm very impressed with those. I got 4 for like stupid cheap, and I was pretty impressed with them, the quality of them, except I had one that had a bad spot in it. I ended up taking a file and fixing that, and it seemed to be fine. So right now the wheels, I just got these wheels. I don't know if you've seen my old video. I got these Endura 2.2s stretched on some 1.9 ruptures, and that's a killer combination. I'm using 3D printed inners with the Endura 2-stage outer foams. I did another video on those. Those are my go-to tire setup. Works great, so I'm super happy with that. But like I said, I had a lot of trouble getting this thing to work at first. I spent way too much time getting it dialed in on the setup board. I was pretty upset I couldn't get it where I wanted. Then all of a sudden things started clicking. I tried a pretty aggressive, I don't know where it's at, a pretty aggressive linkerizer in the back, which moved it up 3/4 of an inch or so, and started playing around with that. And problem was it moved it forward too, and that really shortened the links. Like I said before, the upper link length seemed to be pretty important. So I ended up putting it back, and that was a night and day difference with the combination I'd already had in there. So it all clicks together, you know. So you may change one thing up here that does or doesn't make it work back here. So you got to keep fighting it and keep testing it to find out. So other than that, I'm not really sure what else I can talk about. I have the like I was talking about the overdrive. There's no overdrive in the transmission. It's so tiny. You have to have a small pinion to make it work. But this 12 tooth works pretty good. I'm probably going. It's got a little bit of a stutter to it, which I think it's loading the ESC and the motor down. So I think I need to drop it down to a 9 or 10 tooth. That's going to be something I'm going to try here in the future. But I'm using my trusty Sanwa radio, so I got the Sanwa receiver. Way probably overkill for these things, but I like it, so that's what I'm running. So I routed the wires from the servo. I actually shoe glued them to the side of the servo to keep them from getting bound up anything, and I shortened every wire on the receiver, kind of like you do in the 10th scale buggies and stuff. I did that to neaten that up, and I think it turned out pretty good. So I guess I'll show you. The only other thing is I got magnet mounts in the front, which is kind of one of the things I like to do on all my cars. I just use the regular hooks on the back, so it hooks in the body post. It hooks in the body post in the rear, and then snaps down in the front. So there it is. So I'm gonna get this put together. I'm gonna take some of my footage and combine it all, and hopefully I come up with something worth watching, and I hope you enjoy it. So stay tuned.
How'd you get so dirty? Let's put the bag down on there long enough. You got any of your fix again? No. Little kick there, man. His buddy got them all. You said his buddy got them all? Hey, you gotta start over, man, because you know how they'll say this. You ought to get that same program when you say, GoPro, start recording.
Yeah. Alright, I'll do it. I'll make sure I can get it in frame here. Is it red? The thing red?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, bud? Good, sir.
So yeah,
just come down and around that? Yeah, you got to kind of go, you can pivot. Yeah, you kind of go to the left, but not much. We can go chase it out there. It sounded like somebody just went out the other side. The front end because it was too much. The stopping there. Touching reverse. Oh God. How do we get out of this mess?
Here you go, Brad.
I got you. Over there trying that. I don't know if y'all's breakover gets you stuff like that. Like mentioned before. I got a friend
I'm stuck.
I was going wrong.
I'm stuck now.
You would have, if you had gone around the left side of that bump right there, you would have
So into the leaves a little bit? Is that
yeah.
Okay.
You can't keep the front end over because it'll start forward, but
You got to try to keep the front end.
front right tire. So if this is that knot, this is that knot, this tire right over the side of that knot.
Yeah, more likely to go through. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, normally I'd go over here and just kind of, well, my other truck, so I can't do that with my other truck.
Yeah.
No, I'll do that.
We're coming for you. Oh, you're the one? Okay. Yeah, I recognize yourself. Yeah, I ain't seen you yet either, so.
I think last time it was all over the
Okay. Yeah, I thought Tim was going to come today, but he changed his front axle out the other day and brought it up to him.
All right, I'll get out of y'all's way here.
And he gets it out, he just taps the button trigger.
Sorry.
Like this? Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're trying to do, what's the other thing to do?
All right, Bo, that was my first time doing that.
Because there's so many people, man, that try to come out here and they're like, what do you need for this? What do you need for that? What do you need for this? For that. Well, the thing about it is, bro, like, we've been in this for, you know,
I did it last time.
You know what I'm saying? That's like me walking up to one of those hey, man, will you tell me exactly where you put your hands, how you gripped it, where you put your foot, where you did this, how you did that? No, you need to learn yourself. You just jump out there and start asking questions.
I know, I'm not going to come in at the level.
So,
We got Twin Peaks and cuss us away since we get kicked out.
I don't know, I'm not even kind of base that started out on, so you don't understand certain things. Just like we were saying earlier, you don't have grip, you don't have to do and you don't even fucking know anything. And the thing is on my side, so it's the same thing.
The root makes it kind of tricky. I didn't even tell Courtney I was coming here.
You did?
She's gonna look on Life 360 and figure it out.
Yeah.
That's Bubba Line 2.0.
Do what? going in.
Yeah.
Hey, wham bam, thank you, man.
We ain't got no favor coming around, bud.
No,
You feeling better or what?
pretty much.
You couldn't resist, huh?
I'm trying to do it too, man. I was like 5 and going somewhere. I knew y'all wouldn't get far. Good job. Come on.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's riding wheels in the grass. It's gonna be a fun little rig. Like it ain't gonna be no vertical stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my truck's not going to catch any of this stuff. Oh yeah, there she is. I remember this.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I'm about to run out of battery, but that's the initial test run on my Poizd T3 rebuild. This thing is way better this time. Of course, it cost me a lot more money this time. So I brought a backpack, and I brought my old truck for a backup just in case it didn't work or something broke or whatever. But overall, I'm super happy with it. It did stuff I've never seen one of my trucks do, so I'm super happy with it. And I got to get home and try to edit some of this video. Maybe I can get you some good footage. I don't know, because I just went over a good rock and realized I turned the camera off instead of on. So I think I missed that, because I had it even put in the bag. So I got a bunch of editing to do. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you stay tuned for more. And like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And we'll see you next time.